Hello everyone and welcome to our podcast All Matters Financial, and today's subject is on protecting your assets. Our guest speaker today is Andrew Lloyd-Owen, who is one of our senior advisors. Andrew, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, of course. So yes, I'm an independent financial planner at Pareto. I've been in the industry probably around over 12 years now, and I tend to advise both private and corporate clients across all areas of financial planning, but tend to specialise in advising SMEs, company directors and trustees.
Good, thank you. So moving on to our key topic, protecting your assets, just tell our listeners what we mean by protection.
When we talk about protection, we refer to measures and strategies individuals and companies put in place to safeguard their financial well-being and their assets. Yeah, so essentially it involves various aspects of managing and mitigating financial risks.
Great, thank you. And why might someone need to protect their assets? Why wouldn't they just go straight ahead and invest the monies?
Yeah, so the most common scenarios are things like health emergencies, loss of income, life assurance, disability, job loss, long-term care needs, education expenses, and of course retirement.
So would you like to just elaborate a little bit about what you mean by some of those?
Yeah, so I'll use health emergencies first. So medical expenses can be overwhelming, especially in the case of serious illness, surgery. So health insurance provides financial protection, covering medical costs and reducing the burden on individuals and their families.
Okay, and you mentioned life insurance. I think that's quite a popular. Everyone automatically thinks protection is just life insurance, but there's various different types of life insurance and various reasons to take out protection for loss of life.
Yeah. So in the event of death, especially of a breadwinner or a key income earner in the family, life insurance ensures that the surviving family members have that financial support. It can cover funeral expenses, outstanding debts, and also provide income replacement for the family's ongoing needs.
Yeah, and you mentioned loss of income. That's particularly important when someone passes away, but it might be even more important protecting against loss of income if someone's still alive but incapacitated and not have that ability to earn income, but there might be an extra burden in terms of expenditure.
Yes, so if someone has an accident or an illness and they're unable to do their job or to facilitate their work, income protection can provide that source of income to cover it. It covers things like living expenses and medical costs as well, but it just gives that family the reassurance that they're not going to be struggling, or they're also not going to they can cover their lifestyle.
And they're probably the three most important protection policies we look at is life cover, critical illness, which is a lump sum, and income protection, which is income replacements.
Yeah.
There are obviously reasons why people do not take out this cover. So what would you say are the most common misconceptions about protection which causes people not to look at taking out this type of cover?
Yeah, so several misconceptions exist which can lead to people avoiding that or delaying getting that protection. There is some stigma. People's own bias around insurance can be a problem sometimes, despite obviously the potential risks that people face. The most common we come across are things like I'm young and I'm healthy, I don't need insurance, it can be too expensive, I've got enough emergency savings, I've got something through my employer, or sometimes I don't have dependents so I don't need any.
Yeah, and I think it's true. One of the biggest questions that I get asked is how much does it cost? But actually we don't know the cost up until we actually look at the cover, because it's individual for each and every different kind of person. If it was £2 a month, most people would take it out. If it's £2,000 a month, most people wouldn't. But some of the things you mentioned there is I'm young and healthy and you don't need insurance. Insurance is too expensive, which is just what we've touched on, and you have enough emergency savings. Do you want to just elaborate on that and some of the things where actually that is a misconception?
Yes, so starting with young and healthy, I don't need insurance. Especially younger people, there's sort of an invincibility. I won't face health issues, and that links back to bias as well. That they believe that if 1 in 2 people are going to get ill, they're not the person who's going to get ill. But accidents and illnesses can happen at any age, and having insurance in place having it early, can provide a financial safety net. And it's obviously more cost effective the younger you take it out.
Of course.
On the expensive side, cost concerns often lead people to underestimate the affordability of insurance. While some types of insurance can be costly, there are various options and plans available to fit different budgets. It's just, I suppose, it's crucial to explore different policies and find one that meets both needs and financial capabilities.
And I suppose one of the things that we would say is, if you are thinking about insurance and cost is a concern, then we're more than happy to do a quote for someone on how much they're looking for, and over the term.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, it's about understanding the client's needs, and what they're trying to cover. So having a full understanding of their circumstances, what their goals are in life. If we understand that, and understand what the risks are to them if something happened to them, then obviously we can advise appropriately.
And thankfully, this doesn't happen all too often, but sadly we do see this on occasions in our line of business with some of our clients. So how can protection help during an unexpected life event such as a critical illness or loss of income or someone passing away?
So in essence, it acts as a safety net. It prevents unexpected life events from causing severe financial distress. It can provide peace of mind, allowing individuals and families to focus on things like recovery and well-being rather than worrying about the economic implications of unforeseen circumstances.
Andrew, thank you for that and running through the insights into making sure that someone's protected. If you'd just like to summarise for our listeners some of the key points with regards to life cover and critical illness and income protection.
Yeah, so if we work backwards, I tend to with clients, and it's a case of what would be the impact on their family, on their children, etc., dependents, if they were to die, if they were to become seriously ill, or if they were to no longer be able to do their job. So if we understand what that impact is, we can then sort of put policies in place that are structured in a way that can provide that income or provide that lump sum benefit to make sure that families are essentially can continue to live in a reasonable standard of living. So yeah, it tends to be structuring those based around the liabilities or based around the needs of the client individually. So once we understand that, we can then obviously quote and we can then talk through those options with clients and make sure we find that premium that's palatable for clients and make sure that they're happy to proceed.
Good, thank you. And tailor a solution specifically
Yeah.
for the client. On a bit more of a light-hearted note, the question we ask all of our advisors, if you could do anything and money was no object, what would you like to do and why?
Right now, I'd probably hire 3 nannies.
Expensive.
Yeah, but obviously 3 kids are keeping me busy. But yeah, I've got an ambition to cycle a lot around the world and sort of to visit places, so I'd probably do that. I'd also like to go to space at some point if I had money was no option, but unlikely.
So basically cycle around the world, go to space, get away from the kids just for a few days.
Lots of alone time, it sounds like, doesn't it?
Yeah, perfect. So thank you for listening today. This podcast is part of a series we have recorded. Please make sure you subscribe and check out our other podcast episodes on Hooper A2R, estate and tax planning, retirement planning, growing your wealth, cash flow planning. We've also got another podcast on protecting your business, employee benefits and business exit. As always, the information provided in the podcast is general in nature. This shouldn't be relied upon without seeking specific professional financial advice. And if anyone listening would like to speak to any of our advisors regarding your personal circumstances, please feel free to get in touch with us for a free, no obligation consultation. Thank you for listening.